So I was to understand that Mike had a question.
I do. I have several.
Quest.
I apologize in advance for them.
Better that way, I suppose.
But Darren kind of already started my first question, and it's, what are you drinking for this podcast and why?
I thought it was going to be about lentils.
That was a good one. Well, he may be
Those are the
drinking
next 9. Those are the next 9 questions.
I've got some straight
I'm
larceny.
so ready.
Wait, what's
And a
larceny?
And a bit of a Carlsberg.
Ooh.
I don't know what those two things are.
Larceny is a bourbon.
Yeah. This is a big one.
Carlsberg, is that looks like a Grolsch type beer.
Yeah, it's a Grolschi Germany thing. It's a
Grolsch?
It's a liter of beer.
Do we sell a liter of beer?
I don't want a large beer, I want a liter beer.
You remember Grolsch and the green bottles with the resealable tops?
I like those bottles.
I'm drinking Huger Street IPA, which is a local IPA here in Charleston.
Oh,
that's very good.
Wait, Mike, was why part of the question as well?
Yeah.
Wide?
Oh.
Why are we drinking larceny?
Yeah, why the fuck are you drinking larceny?
Because I like bourbon. And they were out of Sapporo. I bought me some grocery store sushi, so that was a good choice.
Oh.
And I usually buy a Sapporo to go along with it, but they were out. And so this was next to where it should have been, so that's what I went with.
So this is Friday night?
Yeah, that's my Friday night.
I'm going to be totally real. And, for some context, Brian and I lived together for a number of years. And the fact that he's eating sushi is just really clap, good for you. There's vitamins and minerals and etc. in there. I want to say when Brian first moved out of his parents' house and into the apartment with May, I want to say it was fried chicken and Lay's potato chips and turkey sandwiches for roughly 90% of his calories.
Meatball subs. Also got a meatball sub from the coop now and again.
To his credit, there was a bomb sandwich shop across the street.
Yeah, that place was ridiculous. There was no reason to eat anywhere else.
Dude, so eventually, some rando dudes bought it and tried to turn it into a cafe when it was a butcher shop that just happened to sell the best sandwiches in Los Angeles. Ugh, I'm still mad at those guys.
Ugh.
So anyway, kudos to you for the sushi.
Yeah, because it has vitamins.
And omegas.
On account of the vitamins.
Dude.
I eat a lot of
it's nutrients.
I just made salmon, asparagus, and potatoes for dinner.
Brian, I was going to say your complexion is looking amazing, but now I know why.
That's not true.
I was going to say I can smell your pee right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Is it asparagus?
Oh, we know you had the asparagus.
Well, it's only because I save it.
I'm going.
What else are you going to do with it?
I'm going
here,
on
I got the jar.
Darren.
This is the problem with videos, because normally I wouldn't do this. I got my pee jar.
Oh my god.
Is it cracked?
No, it's got
the real
ridges.
Brian, for comfort?
It looks like
Brian's
a Freemason jar.
So when I insert it, it's got like a rifling. It's got a rifling action.
It's Darren. What was your drink and why?
Oh, the why? The why is because the last 3 podcasts I drank whiskey and I don't remember the end of the last 3 podcasts, so I'm drinking beer this time.
Well, I guess you'll have to tell us afterwards whether or not that's the way you want to go in the future.
Probably.
You go. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Well, I'm drinking a Dark and Stormy, which is spiced rum, ginger beer, and some fresh squeezed lime because I had the components. I am back in New York City, And so I have to pick my moments when I go outside to go shopping. I'm technically on quarantine hard. The National Guard and the New York City quarantine police literally check up on me and text me every day to make sure I stayed in. So I'm going to have to wait until the 10-day period is over before I can go buy some scotch. So until then, I'll be going through my old rum and gin bottles.
There's no alcohol delivery service?
There is, but I'm trying to limit my interaction with that too, just to try to be a good citizen. And also just be cool with the delivery dudes.
Did you say quarantine hard?
So hard.
First of all, I do everything hard, first of all, Shane.
Oh my god!
Especially quarantine.
These are the fucking
lentils.
Lentils
are those lentils
you've ever tasted.
El dente? El dente lentils.
That's so hard right now.
The lentils.
He didn't even cook them. He's just crunching them.
It's like chewing them like corn nuts.
I'm drinking a 6-pack of 2 in so far of Pacific
Who's
Pacifico.
got the night plan?
2 6
I'm
packs
counting.
in?
If you don't reach 6,
I'll get there.
6 tonight.
Of Pacifico because I want to celebrate the Mexican people.
Your next door neighbors?
So special.
I applaud
Nice.
your multinational approach.
Wait, Stabby or Horty? Which neighbor?
Isn't Horty white?
No, Stabby uses cans because that's what he was stabbing. He was stabbing cans. So these are bottles. So. Yeah.
Do you think he tried stabbing bottles first?
It's very possible.
You know what though? I'm gonna go ahead and credit it to the Stabby neighbor because if it was the Horty neighbor, I don't want to know what were in those Horty bottles that he hoarded. There is a lot of stuff there.
There it is.
Oh my god!
This bottle.
It's fucking ridged for your pleasure bottle. Yeah.
Can I take a spin?
Isn't Shane in like the gentrification part of Santa Ana? Like, what happened?
Is there a gentrification part of Santa?
Oh
You
yeah.
know what? I heard that word a lot, but it was
it's
just a word that I heard a lot.
It's called Tustin.
It's probably more so than before, but it's still, I'd say, half Hispanic.
Well, I mean,
They're not
Hispanic?
leaving.
okay. Well,
So,
I mean, I'm glad to be wrong. Actually,
Are you in Santa Ana or are you in Santana?
I'm definitely in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
well, it's like that was a big issue in New Orleans when I was living down there, and it's an issue in Brooklyn now where I live. Like the gentrification piece is weird. You know what I mean? Is there some? Do we owe anything to the people that grew up here? Basically, is the kind of the question from a social justice
Not if
perspective.
they can't afford it.
Well, I mean,
Well, what
But that's
do you
the
mean?
problem.
Why would you owe something?
well, I think
Heritage.
New Orleans is probably a better example. Only because there's a neighborhood like Treme, literally the birthplace of jazz, the first free community of color in the United States. Like, it's a big deal. It's got a lot of historical roots. In the last decade or so, has been slowly bought up by a bunch of rando white people from out of town that are turning them into Airbnb palaces for bachelor parties. So instead of having
They're
like a
buying those
vibrant
places from those indigenous, for lack of a better term. So those people are making bank on the way out, at least.
So one of my friends / coworker that grew up in New Orleans, and like his dad was a longshoreman, his grandfather was a blacksmith, his great grandfather was a slave blacksmith on the farm outside of Baton Rouge. That was his perspective. He's like, hey, if you have 2 brain cells, you're making money on this. Who cares? Which I think
Not to
there's
mention-
maybe.
Are there shoremen?
The Italians.
Hey,
Those
So-
are the longest of the shoremen.
thank you.
They go on for
Also gotta-
generations.
Well,
If the
so
people didn't want to
fascinating.
lose, well, hold on a second. If the people didn't want to lose their area, then they wouldn't. They don't sell to white people. I mean,
Ta-da!
Well, so there. I mean, okay, that
like if
seems.
they
like-
were worried about it, they could take steps to alleviate the gentrification. No,
Well, that seems
no.
like a straightforward
Well,
solution.
why not?
Yes. One quick dotted line because this was all started by,
Fair.
what do you owe them? And all of a sudden we're talking about people selling out to incoming white folks. But wait a minute, where's this whole owing part? owing the indigenous people.
Well, so okay, like the reason I think Treme is an effective example is what makes that neighborhood in particular attractive for tourism or for whatever else is the history of the people that used to live there, and so they're actually literally commodifying the people they're buying out. So that's that's problematic.
They commodified people.
Well, commodifying the culture, I should say, is probably a better way to put it.
All right.
And then the second piece is like a lot of times, like you guys, growing up in California, you used to Prop 13 in the way that affects tax rates. No other state has that, at least no other state I can think of. So in New Orleans, if your neighbor sells their house for twice what you bought it for, your taxes then double. It's not locked in the way California does. So, I mean, people can literally lose their homes because they can't afford the taxes on it. So, I mean, that's like a sort of practical element. And then there's also the piece that a lot of these folks already had, like absentee landlords, which, I mean, that's kind of a separate issue. But like, that's a piece of it too, where the people that have lived there for 50 years have been renting for 50 years, but still contributing to the community. And really, this kind of goes into like a larger conversation, in my opinion, which is why so much of our regulations and tax codes and our policies in general geared towards like sort of like wealthy, like cultural tourism is how I'd kind of put it, where like instead of trying to, build our tax code to cater to people that are trying to raise families, stay connected to a community and build something, we're actually creating rules and regulations that reward people that are like, I'll live here for a couple years and then I'll sell it and then I'll go move into this other cool place. And like, they're not trying to build anything. They're literally just sort of like locusts, moving from place to place as the coolness.
Oh my God, I'm going back to whiskey.
So Mike, what are you drinking? And why?
Why would you bring that up right now? What's wrong with you?
I'm drinking the death of minority culture.
Just like a short shoreman would.
Cool.
So short I couldn't even see him. I'm drinking a Manhattan because it's easy to throw together and it tastes good.
It says the man who's a professional bartender. I don't think I could tell you what's in a Manhattan. I think it's whiskey.
3 ingredients: whiskey, sweet vermouth bitters. Put it in there, add some ice, move on.
What is sweet vermouth?
Oh man,
vermouth. That's sweet.
It is an aromatized wine.
Well, you see, Justin, in the 13th century, vermouth was thought as a...
You see, back in the day, the indigenous people of Santa Ana were sending sweet vermouth farms.
Vermouth just used to be wine until it was gentrified into vermouth.
I'm not going to lie, Darren's joke was excellent. And I will do my best to drink more and avoid such topics that I find interesting, but no one else does. I'm sorry.
No,
actually,
they are interesting. There's just a cadence, Where does it go to? Where does it go to? Where does it go to?
Yeah.
Where it goes to is getting that dude in the mittens elected to president, and some real.
Look, Mitten Boy it's not an option right now. It's not even an option for several years. So. Just appreciate the mittens.
I do. The other one's not there.
What the hell?
Balls! What the heck?
Jill's trying
Somebody
to
drop the silverware drawer.
Actually, the one out of the dishwasher. Yes, that's exactly what it was.
I know that noise.
I know that noise anywhere. There's actually quite a bit of gentrification going on here, especially North Charleston. Just saying.
I mean, that actually doesn't surprise me. A lot of the sort of Sun Belt, the South, is experiencing that, especially places that are kind of cool. Charleston actually has been on that list for a while.
Yeah.
Where did the people go?
Well, and see, that actually has been my perspective. Like,
inland.
In my opinion, the complaints about gentrification are really complaints about affordable housing and transportation. Like, if people can move somewhere else and still get to work, who cares, right? Like, they could sell it to the rich people and then move somewhere else, and who cares? But that's not the reality, right? I mean, New Orleans is kind of where I know best, but New York has that problem too. Where, like, if you get bought out of somewhere near a subway line, you're screwed. Which is why it's like so tragic. Like, so much of the NYCHA housing, so much of the public housing in New York is like on the outskirts of the city, so it's like hard to find work. It creates a whole like burgeoning effect, like a snowball effect. But anyway,
we have more questions, don't we, Mike?
That was only one. That's good.
Yeah.
lentil update. I over-peppered them. I'm a little sad.
I hate it when I over-pepper my lentils.
I got like this mortar and pestle, and I got some fresh peppercorn, so I was all like into it, and I think I got too into it. Too much pepper.
Jesus Christ!
Why don't you just get a pepper grinder?
How's the bologna?
I was thinking I could use the mortar and pestle for more things, and it was cheaper if I remember right.
Did you use too much mortar or too much pestle?
Too much pestle with a hard T for sure.
Pestilence.
Too much pestle.
What is an overused phrase that drives you crazy?
It is what it is.
Oh, damn you. Get out of my brain.
First one. Oh my god.
Shane died.
We're having work flashbacks right now, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, like every day, almost.
It is what it is.
Yeah, especially in the South.
I don't think we're gonna top Darren. Like, I think Darren nailed that in one.
Seriously. You know what the worst part of that, though, Darren, is that I find myself using that.
Me too.
Yeah, and then I have to go home and take like 4 showers.
Well, what's important is actually describing why you don't like it. Because when you say it is what it is, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, it's a nothing statement.
Yeah.
Why did you even say anything?
Is it social lubricant?
It's like saying more or less.
Well, give or take.
You win some, you lose some. I agree.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, 6 to 1, half dozen the other. You know?
Can't win them all.
So I do feel like there is something to be said for like an audible pause, right? Like when you're stuck giving a presentation or you're on the call and like, you got to transition somewhere. There is a sort of reliance on cliche to make that bridge.
Look, you just did it. You just did it. Exactly. You could with the rest of us.
What? So there has actually been
Thanks, Brian. He just heard you.
It was surprisingly effective. I have to remember that next to go.
That's a better phrase than it is what it is. To just
Well, if that's the kind of thing you like, then I guess you're gonna like that kind of thing,
Well, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you're gonna do.
So it does strike me. It's like. I'm trying because I have like a lot of feelings about this because I'm trying to divorce it from specific contexts.
Maybe you should think about those feelings before you vocalize them.
Okay, fair point.
You guys think like a lawyer has ever used that phrase?
Oh, dude, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm in meetings with lawyers when they use the phrase. It kills me.
Yes, that makes me so happy.
No, dude. Like
I'm just a caveman.
Right? Like I think my suspicion is that it's like an audible pause that doesn't make you feel like you're sounding unintelligent. So it's kind of like to me, it's the equivalent of like irregardless. Where like irregardless, you're like, okay, now you sound like an idiot, but like it doesn't seem like you sound like an idiot, except for people that really hate that word. So like it's almost like a shortcut, I should say, to bridging that gap, I think. But man, it does.
We all want to stay involved in the conversation.
Well, there's a huge stigma on saying and so people do look for alternate fillers, and it is what it is.
I was just gonna say, I think sometimes that phrase, for me anyway, is used where you're in a conversation with somebody and you're both trying to agree that, look, we don't need to talk about this anymore. There's nothing else to say about it. And this is our way of communicating to each other. We both understand that.
It's a different way of saying we agree to disagree, basically.
Man, you guys went down the rabbit hole with the stupid "what are you drinking?" question more than this one.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of anything else because it is what it is just rattling around in my brain.
All right. Well, all right, guys, moving on. It is what it is.
There it is.
Yeah, Mike, just deal with it. That's one. Just deal with it. Like
deal with it.
Just any saying that like just kind of talking down to somebody, I think is
talk to the hand.
Oh God! Luckily, no one really says that in the conversation. But yeah, I don't like people being like, "Oh, obviously you don't understand, so just forget about it." Kind of those kind of sayings.
That's just mean.
Mm.
All right, we got a couple food questions in the mix.
Yes, Mike, it is.
I like food.
All right. Name an underrated cheese.
Oh, fucking sharp cheddar.
Yes, thank
underrated?
you.
Dude, look. I don't know, but it's just it doesn't have
I'm
a
just saying I
fancier
like
name.
it.
It's got cheddar in it, so it's like okay, it's just cheddar. But dude,
Well, it's like when you're at a restaurant, right? And they're like, "Oh, let's order the charcuterie." Oh, you get to pick. No one picks the cheddar because, like, oh, people have cheddar at home, etc. It's like I think people feel it's overplayed, but in a more formal setting, a good solid English cheddar can be so freaking delicious, and it just gets left behind because, like, oh, I have cheddar at home. It's not the same cheddar, man.
how often do you order a charcuterie?
I love me some charcuterie. Are you kidding me?
No.
A plate
I
of
do
meat and
too, but I mean,
cheese?
how often is it a thing?
Well, post-COVID, 0. But like, that's not true. I actually make myself a charcuterie plate probably once a week. I'll have it al fresco on the balcony.
0, but once a week.
Okay, on an annual
charcuterie plate.
basis, let's talk charcuterie, boys.
Is cheese and crackers considered charcuterie?
It sure is.
According to Shane, it is.
I mean,
I am never having cheese and crackers again because it's charcuterie.
My wife would describe that as adult Lunchables.
we put some grapes on the plate.
Yeah,
It counts.
If you throw an olive on there and you're done.
Charcuterie is what it is.
Oh, God damn it.
No, cheese and crackers is what it is.
Mine is pecorino.
Ooh, good choice.
It's better than Parmesan, and it should be used more instead of Parmesan.
I
So in
haven't
a
had
cacio
it myself.
pepe. The pecorino romano in the cacio pepe. Oh, that's good times.
What peppers?
Bless you.
Who's Pepe?
Oh, Pepe.
Pepe Le Pew. So, Mike, I hear you have some questions.
I will say this: if you guys are ever at the store and see sharp provolone in a package, and that's my new underrated cheese that I never thought to get, and it's freaking sharp provolone.
Is it aged?
What do you use it for?
What's that?
Is it just to eat by itself, or do you use it for something?
Yeah, it's like
on
it's a wedge. It's not like sliced. It's just a random thing of sharp provolone. Like if you go to the cheese little section at the grocery store, and it's like always in the top right corner for some reason, kind of hidden, and it's like a little half wheel of sharp provolone. It is pretty damn good. It's like in between a cheddar and a regular provolone. The best of both worlds.
Quick question, Mike. Who rates cheeses that you know?
Wine people.
Like, as far as this being underrated, like, who rates them that you're going like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about?
The general.
My son, when he throws it off of his tray, or he eats it, is the scale I use.
Enough with the
provolone.
Enough with the soft cheeses. I don't like the soft cheeses.
You guys ever smoke cheese? Not like in a pipe. I smoke it like in a smoker.
Like a smoked Gouda is one of my favorites.
Dude, you take any cheese, you throw it in a smoker for an hour at
You got a stew going.
Like with oak or what?
Yeah, or something maybe a little lighter than oak, like some cherry or
applewood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Crepe myrtle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just discovering this. Darren has a really good voice for describing barbecue. Like it's got a good cadence.
Dude,
you're
right.
It's soft but deep. Like I want to hear more.
This is the day after drinking.
Because he's got
I don't normally.
He's got a little southern creeping in.
There's some twang.
Just to tinge the voice.
Yeah, he could describe like my last shave, and I'd feel amazing.
What we do is we pull the pork apart with our hands to keep it nice and moist and tender.
I need another beer.
We don't use utensils around here. We use our fingertips.
A little bit of sweetness.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So then, what do you guys consider your measure for underrated or overrated? Because you all came up with something.
I think it's more just cheeses you don't really hear about, but you like.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it.
That's
Like,
that's where I came from. Just cheeses that I don't really hear about too often talked about, but that I found that I like.
like if like this might be, I can't decide if this is like a humble brag or like just an annoying New York thing. Shane is already shaking his head. I love it. But like, so
Now,
Jen and I
go
have,
on
like,
with your faggotry.
first, dude, what year is it when that's coming out of your mouth?
Hey, you were shirtless earlier, okay?
Sorry?
I said you were shirtless earlier, flashing
Yeah,
your baloney nipples everywhere.
Jen and I were noshing on an artisan midnight charcuterie the other day.
Noshing?
Gosh.
I finally put my shirt on when I realized how good this cheese was.
And I thought,
That's a
next
put your
up.
shirt on kind of cheese.
It required formal attire.
Does it make the cut? I don't know. Am I wearing a shirt?
The more dressed you are, the better the cheese was.
So,
He's got 3 shirts and a jacket on, and a cummerbund around his head.
If it wasn't for the al dente lentils, I would have noshed the whole block.
This is a tassel-only charcuterie right here.
Red ribbon.
oh,
Ugh.
all right. Next question, please.
It is what it is.
What is the dumbest superpower?
Like what caliber are we talking? Like, is this a Marvel Universe level or is this like Xanth level?
Yeah, I don't think the points to qualify the questions. I think you
Yeah,
just
what-
need to answer them.
Whatever you qualify as a superpower, whether it's something you read, watched, or just thought of.
So I had watched this series called Food Wars, and essentially,
Where the fuck is this going?
dude, it's really fucked up. Give it a watch. But you know, if the food was really, really delicious, clothes would just come off. And
Is this the last question?
No, that's a superpower. You know, well, I don't know about superpower, but that's the thing that came to my head, so I'm sharing with it. So yeah, eating delicious food causing your clothes to disappear.
You need to provide more context to.
Yeah, is that something
what
that was
you
in
were.
your brain, or have you seen that happen somewhere?
It was with some anime on Netflix.
There we go.
Oh, that Food Wars thing.
I thought you were at like the Olive Garden and people's clothes were just flying. Seriously.
This is delicious! Olive Garden, go!
Here you go.
Thanks, babe.
All
Just
right.
cover me in
late-
breadsticks.
Is that your breadstick? I'm good. That's my contribution.
Late 90s X-Men cartoons. Jubilee, whatever the hell her superpower is, that's the one. for me.
Fireworks.
Yeah,
Oh.
whatever it was.
There was Sparkle Power.
The celebration of
This
independence.
can actually hurt people. But
I don't know, but I hated it every time. I just remember hating it. Like, who is this bitch? Where's Gambit?
well, the cartoon did make it seem like it looked like confetti in the cartoon,
Yes,
which did
it
not
was
help.
really
things.
bad in the cartoon.
You know what I mean? She's like, oh, we should get
Zing!
Sabretooth confetti. Like, let's throw him a ticker tape parade.
Wait, what
Like
was,
if I
what
was-
was Gem's superpower?
Uh,
Gem is fantastic.
Were they like connected to a computer or they had like holograms?
I don't know. She
Did Brian say they were
she
fantastic?
tinkered with an earring, and all of a sudden, I don't know what did she do?
Ooh, Gem.
she
I think
turned
it's
into
like holograms.
Yeah, Jen and the hologram.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, that was the name of the band? Okay, I thought they actually created holograms.
no,
You're
I don't
mixing
remember.
music and
I don't think she had a superpower other than like just a second identity.
she had a cool costume.
She was like Miley Cyrus or whatever, Hannah Montana. That was all that was, wasn't it?
That sounds like a crappy superpower. I'll support that.
Her superpower was wearing different clothes and a wig.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
If I was a real human having Rogue's superpower would suck. It's not being able to touch people. Like, well, I would prefer that. Like, if I had a reason to tell people like I couldn't touch them and they couldn't touch me, mwah. But
chef's kiss, no human contact.
But if I was a regular person with feelings and stuff, then yeah, that kind of isolation would suck.
What would be even better is if the chef's kiss caught on over time, and that if someone just did that, everyone knew to scatter. If you just walked in a room, went,
that was Brian's signal.
everyone just shut the hell out of there.
The real superhero Brian's talking about,
that'd
though,
be a good superpower.
is like depressive brain chemistry. Like that sounds like the superpower we're really discussing at the moment. I was going to say, like, you know, that super tasters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, well, so I'm thinking about
most chefs that way. What's a superpower?
Well, I don't think so, because like the super taster thing is like cilantro tastes like soap.
Yeah.
And dude, I am not involved. I am not into that. Or like, you know, like
not one bit. It
like
tastes delicious.
See, I think
right?
Ashley's that way, but she's not a super taster. She's a super smeller. So I wonder if smell has something to do with it.
That's not a good superpower.
Well, I think
being a super smeller.
Yeah, definitely, right?
It's
like
yeah,
very few things in life are like,
especially living with me.
Because you smell.
But I mean, think about it, like my favorite things are like punch you in the face flavors, like, you know, a really peaty scotch, or like a super dark espresso, or, you know, a really rich chocolate cake. Like those things would kill you if you had really sensitive senses.
Or a sharp provolone.
Maybe, or maybe it just would allow you to taste all of the different like notes that it has. Like, I don't know how it works.
I saw an article once, and evidently a guy had a strong enough sense of smell to tell if it was about that time for a girl.
Oof.
I mean, animals, you know. Animals can smell that shit.
When I was younger, with my close female friends, I could usually tell.
I wish I had that
to go down.
superpower.
Because you could smell it, or because you were studying their movements?
Or because you checked.
Or because all of a sudden they're fucking bitches.
Whoa. Julian,
Hey, Jill.
bringing the misogyny.
Can Jill hear it all of a sudden?
Okay.
I didn't want to say it, but it is what it is.
I'm done.
It is what it is.
Done. Jared gave me the signal. I'm done. Bye.
Taking my headphone back.
No, it was definitely a smell thing.
Weird.
Yeah.
Brian looks like he's
What
about
if-
to blast off.
What if you could detect the number of sperms in someone's balls? That'd be a shitty superpower.
That'd be.
So,
Just saying.
I
Sure.
didn't mean to alarm you,
What's up,
but you look
Fly?
like you need to jerk off.
Yeah.
You should probably go find a
know what-
bathroom receptacle
Look,
and
I don't know what
masturbate.
you're getting out of that superpower.
Well,
a
actually,
shitty thing to know is what
Well, I
you're
have
getting. Like,
been-
oh, great! I know now. Thanks.
well, I have been
that
in
That man
meetings
is the
before
cleanest.
where, like, I've definitely had meetings where, like, okay, the guy on the other side of the table is angry for no reason. So if I could be like, oh, he's really horny. Oh, now I know what's going on. Like, that might be useful.
He's
I think
packing.
wouldn't you just focus on that at that point?
I
It'd
would
be very distracting.
depending on the
That guy needs to
severity of
clean
the
his
meeting.
pipes.
Well, depending on like the
I thought that was just
sorry.
I think you could sit down with every guy and say that though. That's you're not gonna get. Nope, I'm not not horny today.
There really is no.
Wait, sperm count does not equal horniness.
There's no point in time where I couldn't use a wank.
It's true. It doesn't.
Hello. Wait. Hi guys.
I'm
Well, so-
giggling right now.
Well, Shane's biological point is maybe a good one. I don't know. Like I'm assuming like the sperm count would have something to do with like length of time since last orgasm, which would imply a certain horniness.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could just be like, "Hey, it's not her, it's you." You know.
And what happens if a guy's just carrying like a little Ziploc bag of sperm that he got? And
Well,
are you
then
doing
it's
some
gonna-
math?
That's your
Yeah,
Like,
fucking
is that
kryptonite.
gonna throw the superpower off?
Yeah, that's
at
your
that
fucking
point?
kryptonite right
Oh
there.
my god.
He's got a red herring bag of sperm.
shows it.
Turning yellow and
You
green.
thought I was over there, but I'm right here.
What about this bag of spoon?
No, it's just my lunch. Shut up. Whatever.
No, it's grocery store sushi with fish eggs. I swear.
Oh, ew.
It's
I
not
like the
Spider-Man.
maniacal.
It's caviar,
I
I
like them.
promise.
I like the maniacal Scooby-Doo villain. Version of that villain better.
Stay away from me and my
That's what
bag
it
of
needs
spoon.
to be.
What-
That
we're like-
villain is proud he has a bag of sperm
Now,
in his costume.
combine that with Daredevil, where Daredevil can only see you if he can see your sperm. So you can only see men or recently filled women.
Arms.
I just saw Daredevil 3. 2 hours of watching sperm in his weird X-ray vision thing.
I have X-ray sperm vision.
It's like
The
all
weirdest
the
thing.
villains just know about it, so they carry bags of sperm. There's just bags of sperm all over the room.
We need more horses.
Main attack would be like just straight ball shots, right? Like he would just be beating dudes right in the ball.
All I can see is their
Why does he only hit us in the ball?
I take it back. That's a good superpower.
Like the bad guy bar, right? Oh fuck. So there I was mugging this couple. And who shows up? Was it Batman? Was it Spider-Man? No, man. Daredevil. Oh, everyone just grabs their balls. Like,
Here's the eyes.
oh!
Here's the eyes.
Hmm.
All right, that worked.
Oh.
All right, you guys ready
What
for
was
the
that
next one?
squirt?
That's about 5 sperm.
Oh, my bag of sperm is leaking.
All right. Here. You
Uh,
guys are grossing me out.
Oh, just now?
Jill
Bag
said,
of
"I'm out."
sperm was what Darren was going to name his second kid.
Jill's Achilles heel is a
Wait.
bag of sperm.
There's a whale nearby.
And that's that.
Just
What else?
A sperm whale walking down
What
the
else
street
do
in
you-
New York
We
City.
should clarify
you
that
do with
the
that
spermaceti in a sperm whale's head, while scientists have not determined officially what is that function is for, it is in fact just whale fat, which is why that was such a good whale for whalemen to capture. It was the best oil you could possibly get.
Did you just say whale men?
Whale.
Whalemen.
Whalers.
Whaleman.
Not
Well-
whalers. Yeah, whalemen.
Wait,
No,
are
it's like the
Jewish?
difference between seamen and seamen.
Exactly. No, dude, Moby Dick. Like, I did not read that when I was younger, dude. Like, English classes were holding out on us. That book is fucking amazing.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
dude,
What,
it's
Moby
like,
Dick?
yes, dude.
I haven't read the dick.
Well, so, like, you expect it to be like, oh, this guy wrote around the same time Nathaniel Hawthorne did. Frickin' Scarlet Letter is lame. I don't need to read more frickin' pages of, like, metaphor about roses and stupid. Anyway, like, not into it, right? So I finally sat down to read Moby Dick a couple of years ago for the first time. So freaking good. It's like, imagine a bunch of crazy people stuck on a boat together having to deal with a crazier person that's in charge. And also they hate God and also whales. It's
Huh.
amazing. Like, dude, it's amazing.
You said whalemen. I'm picturing Jewish whales this whole time, so that's where I got.
How do you circumcise a whale?
Aim for the head. Don't do that.
I'm glad I'm editing this part out.
Shane just sneezed like an old-timey Western movie.
He didn't.
Like,
He
I
was-
swear to God.
I think Shane just proved that you can sneeze with your eyes open.
Shane just proved you can sneeze with everything open somehow.
I need to blow my nose.
Dear God, blow everything.
I need to go wipe my butthole. I'll be right back.
I gotta change my socks.
I need to go wipe everything. I need to go take a shower.
I can change my
I
socks.
peed,
All
I
right.
peed, came, and chat at the same time.
I need to go change my socks needs to be a phrase
No,
from now on.
100%. I cannot wait to be back in the office so I can make that joke.
Middle of the meeting. Ooh, I gotta go change my socks. Just walk out. Everyone in that room. What is he? What the hell does he mean by that?
Wait, why?
Now
Are we
this
in
part needs
trouble?
to be in.
Are
For
we
fuck's sake.
Are we doing good? What does that mean?
That'd be
I got
great.
it.
Like if
Ooh.
you're Justin, it has to all be your inferiors, and you have to do that joke.
My bad. I gotta change my socks.
Does that mean we're working this weekend? How do I plan my week?
What's so funny? I wanna know.
Oh, it hurts.
What's so funny?
It's not. That's the best part.
Nothing is. That's the best part.
Uh,
Oh, I feel better.
All right. Woosah. Breathe in.
All right, ask a question. Ask a question before we
oh,
go off on a
God,
tangent.
seriously. All right, ready?
Yeah, let's get
Which
focused
fast
here,
food
guys.
restaurant? Which fast food restaurant do you think has the most interesting history?
Ooh,
History.
I watched that
Like-
McDonald's movie.
McDonald's is
Yeah,
really
the
hard to
McDonald's
argue
movie
with.
was no,
Oh,
no.
sorry,
it's
Darren, go
the
first.
same thing. That McDonald's movie was pretty good.
Darren,
Um,
I'm killing Jeopardy right
I don't know. It's a tie for me with Wendy's and Burger King because their food is absolutely disgusting. I have no idea how they have any history at all.
True, true.
And that's what I'm saying. Not necessarily what you've watched or what you know, but like if you just think of a fast food place and you think, "Holy shit, how is that place still around?" Or
Taco Bell is
drunk,
definitely my
right?
go-to on that
No,
one.
you know why
that's
Taco Bell
drunk
is
people.
around? Because there's no Del Taco out here. That's why.
Because there's drunk
Dude,
people.
right? If I could open a Del Taco outside of the French Quarter, I would be a millionaire by the end of the
absolutely.
year.
Really?
Like,
I prefer
I'm
Taco
totally with you.
Bell.
Oh,
Do you
What?
also
Yeah.
prefer communism?
Do you like democracy? Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I've lived through the last 4 years of quote unquote democracy, and yeah,
I
prefer
enjoy
communism to
Democratic
that.
Taco.
I beg to differ.
well, so for me,
Democratic Taco is definitely the name of my porn star.
You know what
name.
though? If you put, I've learned if you put Scorcho on Taco Bell, it's kind of Del Taco-y.
No, dude, we need those slow cooked beans. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Del Taco.
I swear to God, Taco Bell uses powdered beans. I'm sure of it. Like the only way they could get that weird grainy taste, like it's straight out of like some old 1950s like nuclear waste zone. Someone's
Stockpile.
fallout shelter.
you guys,
They rolled that stuff out.
you guys
Cold
aren't
War
getting
stockpile.
if you put Del Scorcho on your oatmeal, it's kind of Del Taco-y.
Look, I'm just saying.
Are we talking Irish
put
oats? Or
El-
are we talking that microwave bullshit?
You got to put El Scorcho on your lentils.
It's Del Scorcho, not El Scorcho. Just
So
It's a
thank you, fancy pop.
La
No
Scorcha?
joke. The last meal I had in California was Del Taco, and I want to say it was probably my first.
So
What do you guys
for
get
me,
there?
chicken
Here?
soft tacos, combo burrito.
Dude, chicken cheddar quesadilla,
Mhm,
spiced
mhm.
chicken burrito, Del Combo burrito, large Coke, and if I'm feeling saucy,
Cherry
chili
Coke.
cheese fries.
Deluxe chili cheese fry.
They've got a chipotle sauce with a chicken in it,
Oh,
and it's
like
you get 4 of them for $4 or whatever. And yeah.
oh,
They've released like crispy chicken tacos lately that are really good.
Oh, that's
Are they
good. I saw
crispy,
that.
really crispy though?
Yeah, they've got 3 different like sauces you can get, like Cholula and the ranchero sauce. Pretty good stuff.
I do miss their old Baja chicken burrito. Like that was bomb. What was it called? Baja.
So all I'm hearing is Del Taco makes better chicken then, because everybody's
well, here we go.
go-to is a chicken-based Del Taco meal.
Well, here, spontaneous question: when you're
And
drunk and you need to eat, Del Taco or Taco Bell?
It's Del Taco, no question.
Yeah.
Right? Why is
Alberto.
that?
Alberto.
Because
Well,
because
that's it.
if I
That's
go to
next level.
Taco Bell,
4 in the morning
I might
drunk.
want to get one of their cheesy meaty things, and that's not going to stay in.
But for some reason, for me, like
5-pound quesadilla.
Taco Bell is a sensible. Let's have some cheap dinner. But if you've been drinking, it's all about Del Taco for some reason for everyone.
It's the scorcha.
I don't know. I think Ashley is a Taco Bell fiend, so I think that's kind of more where. But the nacho fries that they have right now are really good, and I just usually get a nacho Bel Grande and dig on that.
That's the whitest thing you've ever said.
Bel Grande.
And nacho Bel Grande.
Nacho Bel Grande.
I just get
one of those Nacho Bel Grandes.
I get two Birdos. I get
that
two Birdos, a
cilantro.
taco, and nachos Bel Grande.
Dude, you have not lived till you've been in Alabama at a Mexican restaurant and hear somebody say with all sincerity, "Yeah, I'll have one of them quesadillas."
Oh yeah, no,
Quesadillas?
dude, that's South Carolina, Justin.
Dude,
That's
more than
Napoleon Dynamite.
Quesadilla.
Is that
Make yourself a goddamn quesadilla.
Darren, I was there, and Spanish doesn't work there.
No,
Spanish breaks down in South Carolina.
Have you ever watched Shane
Oh,
order from that Spanish place near his house? It's so funny. He speaks Spanish all of a sudden. He never does it anywhere else. And I'm there
it happens.
2 tacos, please. He's like, "Oh, muy."
Oh, muy.
Oh, boy.
Is that what it's like? He's like, "Hey, muy." Hey, you hear my weirdo friend over here? Muy, muy.
So common, cool. Muy.
Muy.
Mucho muy.
Yeah, definitely muy.
Very muy.
You are so muy right now.
Look, if you don't mind, can you make those tacos muy, please?
That's it. That's my goal in life.
Extra muy.
To make things muy?
Right now it's a little bit más o menos. I really would like my life to be muy.
Can I have some salsa verde muy, please?
Justin, your next meeting, you're changing your socks and you're doing things muy.
Look, we need things so much more muy. There's not enough muy.
You guys need to increase the muy.
I've changed my socks 3 times this week because of the lack of muy.
Yesterday, we were just authorized to go crazy on the vaccine. They just unleashed.
We were just authorized
you're
for
going
2
to say
muy. Okay.
So come Monday, that's 100% what I'm going to do to my staff. I'm definitely going to, we need.
Justin, I'm sorry, but all I hear out of your mouth is how many times you're changing your socks and how muy things are.
That's what I'm. Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I just heard he's gonna come. He's gonna come Monday.
I'm sorry
with his staff,
topic, but all I heard from Justin was that he's going to have come Monday.
Come Monday with his staff,
and he's changing his socks on Monday. Come Monday, I'm changing my socks.
It's muy come Monday.
Oh, look at the time! It's muy come Monday.
It's muy come Monday o'clock, guys.
By the way, Bill, your sperm count's a little low.
I can smell it from here.
I can smell it from here. Why is it always Bill?
You can use to have. You can stand to have a little bit more muy cum, a little bit more muy sperm.
Look, change your socks, put some Scorcho on it. We'll call it deli. Okay.
You gotta do the bring sniff too.
They're not going to know whether you lost your mind or you're a genius.
Just go in Monday as a completely different person.
This guy's been saying everything I've been thinking for the past 8 months.
All right,
Justin was a smart guy before.
Can we del it up in here a little bit, guys?
Muy.
Can we del it up?
He's got his change his socks muy.
Yeah, you gotta let the queue
Oh,
figure it out for themselves.
Man,
Yeah,
let the
Dude, supposedly those folks have been reeling the last couple of days, which to me is absurd.
Yeah.
Oh, really? They're absurd?
A quick
There's a
proposal,
Reddit.
Mike, folks. I like the general question: what are you drinking tonight, and why? And at the very end, what is Pacifico telling you? What is your drink telling you to say? Because right now, this is telling me my Pacifico is telling me to say "muy" a lot.
There's a
You know.
reason people drink what they drink. I'm telling you.
So my
That
sister.
tells a lot about a person.
I'm sorry.
Muy,
Like what?
muy claro.
Is that a bartender thing? Yeah. Do you guys
Like
actually
what
buy
they
that?
like to drink, for instance. Okay, just to
Like
name one
what-
thing,
what-
but there's other things. There are many.
But what drinks tell most about somebody?
Más muy,
Like
mucho.
if people ordered a drink from you, what would be a drink that would be like, oh, it's that kind of guy?
Vodka Red Bull,
Oh,
Mm.
What does that tell you?
right?
That's a lot of fist pumping. That's a lot of
Yeah.
fist pumping.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What
No,
about
it
an
goes
apple
back-
teeny?
Well, it's steak night, obviously.
Steak
You guys ever
night.
watch Scrubs? No, it goes back to what Shane was talking about, though, because he's saying how he doesn't appreciate hard booze like some of us do, which is totally fine. But if you see the same person trying to develop their palate, so if Shane was at my bar and he drank beer for a year, and then all of a sudden he ordered a cocktail, he ordered old fashioned or something. All right, cool. And then went back to beer. Okay, whatever. And then a week later, he's like, all right, let me try some Sazeracs. All right. He's got something going on where he's thinking about hard booze. He's thinking about developing his palate. Do you see the regular at the bar start getting different drinks and cocktails?
did you say Tesseract?
That you know what? I was coming back to that, Shane.
The Sazerac is a classic.
It's on my
Orleans
mind.
cocktail.
I wanted to know. I'm like, okay, when he's done with what he's talking about, I want to know what the fuck the Tesseract drink is.
The Soul Stone is a
Sazerac.
classic cocktail. Every Simbai knows. No, Sazerac.
I like a 2-scoop
And
polygon,
and
please.
It's a rye.
No, well, Justin knows what a Sazerac is. I guarantee you, for being in New Orleans, probably.
What's a
Yes,
So
Tesseract?
then,
Invented at the
It's a
Roosevelt
cocktail.
Hotel.
yeah,
But it's
Oh
also
my
a
God.
rye.
Origin
that?
stories from Justin. Go figure.
But you forgot about Vegas.
and so
Oh.
that's what Brian was doing. He was drinking cocktails back in the day, but he was drinking them so fast that he started drinking straight booze. And so he he got to a point where his palate was so developed, he was able to drink straight booze and enjoy kind of those like complexities of all the different flavor notes and stuff.
Black coffee.
Mooey flavor notes in those.
I could taste it in Mooey. Mooey,
Yeah.
Mooey, Mooey.
And it's seriously, it's like you have to train yourself to like drink that stuff and taste those things and actually go through the process of it until you actually enjoy it. So like I have not done that with scotch, which is blasphemy in my field of work.
Huh.
But I like cocktails too much because they're good. I can drink them fast and they
Yeah.
make me feel good. So Mooey good.
Mike, if I wanted to train my mouth, how would you help me?
Superpowers. Superpowers.
I would Mooey help you.
He would change your socks.
Sock?
Is that what
I have-
it takes? If I change my socks,
I have
can
ample
appreciate hard
Ziploc
alcohol?
bags for things.
Hey, in
Yeah.
between
But
questions
Shane,
here,
you were
I'm gonna go take a piss real quick. I'll be right back.
Shane, you were into gin and tonics for a while. Like you could kind of
Yeah.
parlay that into tasting gin. Gin's not bad straight.
No, I
Well,
like
I
gin.
think Dark and Stormies are actually, because I know Shane, you like those.
Oh yeah.
So those
Yeah,
are good,
or rum.
like gateway cocktails into drinking just straight booze. Eventually, if
Alright.
you spend a few weeks drinking Dark and Stormies instead of a beer, you're gonna start like, I think I actually want to taste that rum by itself eventually.
I
Yeah,
wonder.
if you get a good rum. A good rum is real nice, neat.
I like when I think about that, I go like, oh, I can't wait to have the lime. The lime ties it all together.
Well,
Well,
there's
I
nothing
wonder-
wrong with just drinking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with anything you drink. It's
I
what
mean,
you like.
straight lime.
Yeah, just drink lime juice.
Like
There's
a
nothing wrong with biting
limey.
into a lime.
Just
Well, I wouldn't.
eat an entire Englishman.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I wonder if, so, yeah. First of all, like, I do appreciate Brian's sort of baseline of like, hey, there's no wrong way to do this. You're enjoying it. That's the important thing. Like, that's a good baseline. But if there is something like, hey, maybe I'm missing out on this, universe of tastes and experiences, I wonder if one way to do that would be like with Dark and Stormies or with Moscow's, but you switch the liquor up, right? You do a Dark and Stormy with rum, then you try it with whiskey. Or you do a Moscow Mule, and then you try, what do they call them? A Moscow Dublin or whatever they call them? Irish Mule? No, Irish
Mule.
Yeah.
I don't like the Irish mules.
Kentucky Mule. You can do any mule you want. And
So
you
I wonder if...
Right.
I'm sorry?
And Shane, you could even do just some
Sorry.
straight rum with ice and a freaking wedge of lime and squeeze it in there
All right.
and do that
Yeah.
if you
I see,
wanted
I
to.
see.
Yeah, SoCo and lime is a great drink, and that's the same idea.
All right.
But you could also end up like me, who does all this stuff, and then I get to I taste really good scotches and bourbons and whiskeys and
Right.
whatever, and I still go back to a freaking Manhattan because it's delicious and that's what I like.
Fair.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Well, dude, my grandfather drank Jack and Coke until the
Right.
day he died. That was his drink. That was his thing. Actually, I'm drinking out of his old highball glasses right now, in fact.
Oh,
And
that's kind of creepy.
that's pretty freaking cool. And if you ever try a Jack and Pepsi, it sucks.
What?
Oh,
Seriously, there's some reason Jack and Coke is good, and you'll
I think-
know it. Like if you fucking love Jack and Cokes, you know it. And then if you try like a different whiskey and Coke, it sucks.
I've
But
never
Jack
heard
and
of
Coke is
anything
perfect.
in Pepsi
It
being
is.
good.
It is. If I'm gonna
Exactly.
do a whiskey and Coke, Jack and Coke is, and I don't like Jack by itself at all or on ice. But if I'm gonna do a whiskey and Coke, Jack and Coke is really good.
But the nicer
agree.
Jacks are pretty good. The
Oh, the Gentleman Jack,
Gentleman Jack, and then there was the like Centennial Jack and stuff. Like
the extra sperm count Jack.
some of the
Oh,
Jacks
that
are pretty good.
I have to change my socks when I drink that one.
All right, that's just gratuitous. Okay, reserve it. Would you
Jack
mind?
and Coke?
What ridiculous things do on purpose when you are elderly?
Mm.
Oh,
Poop
I
in a
like that.
blockbuster,
That's good.
just for you, Brian. I wouldn't mind hearing that story again. It's been a while.
The poop.
The poop in the blockbuster.
There was a lot of poop in Blockbuster. There was the bathroom.
There was a lot. I thought there was just the one. No, the
Was
one
it
with the old
was it
dude pooped in
elderly?
the aisle. Yes.
Yeah.
So we already know they do that.
Well, I mean, this is personal preference, not what do they do.
So what would you do?
Well, I don't think he wanted to do that.
That's what the question is, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I'd want to get away with that.
Just pooping some places,
Yeah.
shaking out your pants like Shawshank.
I'm looking forward to just falling asleep randomly in the middle of a conversation and having it be endearing.
Forgetting things.
I like that.
Not being yelled
You know
at
what I
for
mean?
forgetting.
Yeah.
Just nodding off.
Yeah, I'll get back to you when I'm done with this little thing right here.
All right, this
just,
question did not go the
Zonking
way I
out.
thought it was going to go.
No.
They
I
never
was
do.
like,
They
I'm
never
thinking
do.
of the way, like my stuff my grandparents did, and it was mostly like casual racism, which I don't know if will be okay.
There we go. All right,
There it
now
is.
we're talking.
But I mean, like they lived through the war, so because I think it was.
Time. That's a radically different
Yeah,
equation.
that's why I don't think it'll be like I can't talk about it that way because I never had to deal with that kind of situation. But yeah, just throwing in non-PC comments and seeing what happens.
Well, there's one of those things where it's like sometimes the nomenclature for something evolves beyond you. You know what I mean? Like the current term is transgender. It's definitely possible 20 years from now that's not a correct term anymore, right? So that could be like a sort of like accidental, faux pas.
Yeah,
I guess that's faux pas is by nature accidental.
I
But
wonder
like,
when, like, at what age do you stop caring about being PC, and you'll just.
well, I
start
think
talking
it's more of like
at what point your nomenclature retards, basically.
I 68.
Well,
Right?
Is that a good age?
well, my expectation.
I was
It has more to do with like how
earlier.
plugged in you are to like the youth culture, right? Because youth culture drives that language change,
Yeah.
and the further you get from it, the less likely you are to kind of absorb some of the lessons, some of the more modern sort of terminologies.
Yeah, but
So I think it's.
with the internet, will the youth culture really have that divide that our predecessors had?
I think it will be diminished, but I think it will also move so much faster. Like, think how much quicker slang moves now.
Yeah.
Like the yeet thing is already gone.
Oh, thank God.
I like
Well,
it.
it's not a complaint. And I'm trying to think what the one before yeet was like. Using certain things as like strange nouns.
Is the blowing coal out your exhaust pipe thing gone yet?
You'd have to
That
tell us.
is unique to your part of the world, Darren. Yeah.
You were so close, though. Good job.
Like I've never seen anybody blow coal. Like I've not seen that.
I have.
I know that's what I'm saying. Is that I think it's more prevalent in your area.
Not as much here. That's more like a Tennessee, West Virginia type thing.
Yeah.
Charleston's still relatively big city.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty rural before that makes sense.
Yeah,
Brian, can I change my question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Tell Jill
All right,
to shut up. Change her socks.
Sorry.
Change your thought.
My pants more like it.
It's like I'm not wearing it.
All right. This will be the real last question.
Well, then wash your feet. Yeah, I'd like to befriend a goose and then giant the goose.
Ooh, that's high risk. Like a goose is definitely a feast or famine sort of friendship.
Well, just tell me when you're putting them down, and I'll come say goodnight real quick.
The goose?
Yeah, like a goose is all cool when you're throwing bird seed at him, but as soon as you stop, that goose gets real mean real fast.
A hamster?
Well, that's why you befriend it first.
Hmm.
You become his or her.
I kind of like where Justin's going with it. You take a very neutral, peaceful animal and blow them up, and now all of a sudden they're a freaking massacre.
Yeah, like a giraffe that can just reach the top of the Chrysler building.
Or a sea otter?
I like that.
Fed a giraffe, it is a unique experience.
Or a bunch of ladybugs.
Oh, chinchilla.
Oh, wow, insects. I didn't even
They
think
were
about that.
They were so cute yesterday. Now they're terrorizing the town.
Ant was my first thought, but dude, a gigantic ant would fuck shit up.
So, have you ever driven through a locust swarm?
Oh
No, can't say that I have.
It is sincerely biblically terrifying. Like there was a reason that's a thing. Like I was driving back from a plantation tour back to New Orleans, Oak Alley, and like literally a locust swarm like descended. And I found out later it wasn't even that bad, but you're driving through these giant enraged crickets and they hit your windshield with a palpable force and sound every second. So it is awful. I found a big truck and I just got behind him and let him be my lead blocker to get through that. But dude, it was disgusting / horrific / like it's an inimitable noise and visceral experience. Like it's super gross. Like washing that car off afterwards was not cool.
Oh, so you got a fair amount of spatter with that, huh?
Oh, 100%, dude. Like it was brutal. And it was just so strange because like it's something like you read about it, but you don't expect to experience it. So anyway, like for some reason when you said large ladybugs, that brought that to mind. Where I'm just like imagine trying to drive down the freeway and all of a sudden like a swarm of giant ladybugs hits you. And you got your little niece in the background crying because all these adorable ladybugs are just getting crushed in the windshield.
Yeah, and it makes me think of different things. Like I was thinking of dolphins, like a pod of extra large dolphins being just.
You mean orcas?
Yeah, but they look like dolphins, so they look cute and shit like that. But they're fucking causing havoc and like tossing their bodies up in the air all over the place and twisting and turning and shit like that. And
Dude.
Dolphins are not cute. Dolphins scare the hell out of me.
Actually, I will second that. I was body surfing a few years back when dolphins tried to show up and join me. And at first, I'm like, oh, this is magical. And then within a half a second, I'm like, oh my God, this is actually scary.
Sorry.
You're good.
Oh, this
Shut
thing
up.
is 10 minutes.
Enough.
Yeah,
Dude, change your
good.
socks.
I'm good. Oh,
Let's
I
probably
unplugged something.
Mooey socks. Shane, think about
I
it.
can't see
You-
myself anymore.
Actually,
Shane, you could blow up kitties huge and just like rule all of Orange County
Dude.
if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Just riding kitties around the county.
I feel like
Riding.
the sound it should make of this little the reverse shrink ray weapon should just make the sound mooey. Like that's what it should say when you do it. Mooey. Mooey.
Kitties
Mooey
would lay
ray?
down in
Wait,
a park
what-
and bat at cars going by.
Just giant cat
Hell did I
pop.
do?
You know, actually, I think I want to say there is a Paul F.
The hell,
Tompkins
Darren?
bit that's the reverse of this. Like what you would do to make a wild animal a pet, like what you'd shrink down a little bit. It's a good bit if you guys want to look
My
at it.
bad.
Although I love me some Paul F. Tompkins.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.